Hello ACC faculty, it's Daniel, your facilitator for the online teacher certification course. I just wanted to check in with everybody, make sure everybody was doing okay and is progressing well through the course. Again, from looking at the grade book and everybody's progress in the class, everybody is right where they need to be. Some people are still finishing up some of week 5 activities, but we're right at the beginning of week 6, so pretty much everybody is right where we need to be. What I wanted to do was go over a little bit about what we're going to do or what you're going to be doing in Module 6. So Module 6 is a little bit more of a unique lesson that we're going to have in this class, and that's going to focus on collaborations. And so the collaborations in your online courses are, of course, very important because you're not meeting face-to-face with your students. So one of the things to consider is how are you going to create learning activities where your students are working together. So in this week, I want you all to focus on how you're going to have your students collaborating together. So if we look over the learning objectives and the different things we're going to do this week, you see that a lot of it is focused on student collaborations, identifying tools in Blackboard that help collaboration. But one of the biggest things is creating groups. Now, this week's activities in that sense is a little bit unique because you cannot create groups in your development shells because you do not have other students or other people enrolled in there. So that's the one caveat with that. So because of this, you're going to utilize one of your past courses to create groups, or to create student groups, I should say. So we want you to utilize a course that is already done from a previous term. So for example, maybe one of your spring courses, and it doesn't matter which one it is, and go in there and create some sort of a group activity. Now that's where it's the lesson itself is a bit broad. So once you go in, or if you go into the actual readings for this lesson, you'll see there's a whole lot of resources and a whole lot of ways that you can have your students collaborate in here. So we've made some tutorials as far as Blackboard Collaborate. We've put some items in here as far as blogs and wikis in Blackboard, forming groups, even having groups within your discussion forum so that your discussion forum isn't your entire class per se. So for example, you don't have a discussion going on between 30 students, but you can break it up. If you have a class of 30 students, you can break it up maybe into 6 groups of 5 where the discussion is a little bit more manageable amongst a group. So start thinking about how you're going to have your students collaborating and working together. And again, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. So we put a lot of resources in here purposely because we want you all to see, and again, we want you all to find something or find a way a way that the collaborations will work for you and work for your students. So as you're going through this, again, you're going to find a lot of resources in Module 6. So, and as far as the assignments for this week, you have 2 assignments, which again are going to revolve around going into a past course. Again, it can be online, face-to-face, because again, all ACC courses have a Blackboard shell, so it doesn't matter which one it's in. And creating an assignment that will be used for an upcoming class. So you're using what you're creating in a previous course as sort of a template for maybe something you might do in a future course. So again, it's very open-ended as far as what you want to do or what activity you want to develop with your students. So get creative with this, try to see what you can come up with, see what creative way you can maybe have your students working together. And again, with anything creative, I mean, it's always a let's see if this works and let's try it out. And if it doesn't work, let's figure out maybe what didn't work and maybe tweak it a little bit for next time. So that's never a bad thing for you all to try in your courses. That's the way we come up with new creative and innovative ideas, is just by trying things to see if they work. And so once you're done with that, the biggest focus of this is going to be once you actually get into your module discussions. A couple of you have already posted in the module discussions here for Module 6. So with the Module 6 discussion, a lot of it is going to be centered around how did it go? What was your experience when doing this? So I'll go into the discussion itself. And as you'll see here, you'll use the discussion forum to reflect on your experience. So what tutorials, articles did you use? There's some resources in here that we've linked, I believe, to Magna Commons. What type of group assignment did you choose? You know, all the way down to ultimately, what do you see the benefits of these kinds of assignments? Because again, they have to benefit you, and of course, they have to ultimately benefit your students. So if you've never created this sort of group activity in Blackboard, it is going to be new, but that's okay. Try it out, see what you think, rely on the other faculty in your course who have maybe either tried this before, or maybe get some feedback with them as far as, I tried this but it didn't seem to be working. What do you think might be a better solution, or how do you think I could make this better? You know, so try to engage with each other as much as you can with these types of things, because a lot of times when you're teaching, especially with the if you're full-time faculty where you're teaching a full course load, sometimes you don't get to see a lot of your colleagues, and so a lot of times you don't know what's going on or what each of y'all are doing in your courses. So this is a perfect opportunity for you all to see, hey, what are some things that maybe a math instructor is doing in their course that I could maybe do in my history course? So look for those types of things, see what works for other people, maybe what can work for you. But again, definitely rely on each other to try to see what works for other people and what may also work for you all. So that's a little brief introduction as far as, or brief overview as far as what you're going to be doing this week. Again, everybody's staying right on track. Everybody's been doing very well as far as emailing, contacting me if they have any questions or concerns. So please continue doing so. And again, just good luck in week 6, and we are almost to the end. So hang in there. And again, if you need anything from me, do not hesitate to let me know. All right. Hope everybody has a good week. Thank you.